Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's the latest Manchester United transfer news. Zlatan Ibrahimovic to quit Manchester United this summer. A £50 million striker targeted as his potential replacement. Franck Kessie, the Atalanta midfielder, is he going to be signing for Manchester United in the summer? A mystery centre-back that won't be a mystery in a few minutes. And the very latest on Griezmann and De Gea. But let's fly straight into it. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, not saying that he is going to quit Manchester United in the summer, but Jose Mourinho, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and his agent have all now come out and said that anything is possible this summer, and it is by no means beyond the realms of possibility that he will leave this summer. I don't know whether us or you or any other Manchester United fan really thinks this will happen. My thought has always been that he will stay at Manchester United for a second year. But the more I think about it, the more I think, well, maybe the plan only ever was a year. His agent said that the big motivation for Zlatan was to come to the Premier League and prove that he could do it. Because all his career, despite being absolutely fantastic for the last 15 years, being better than a goal a game, there's always been that doubt about whether he could do it in the Premier League. And he's blown that away. As I said last night, he's my player of the year and I hope he gets voted it, although I don't think he will. Because yes, Costa and Hazard have done well, but Zlatan has done it in the league, he's done it in the Europa League, he's done it in the League Cup, he's done it in the FA Cup. He's done it everywhere. I think he's been absolutely superb and I'd love him to stay for another year because I do think we're in that situation now where if you take Zlatan out of the Manchester United side, we wouldn't be as successful. He's a leader. He just believes in himself. He provides that killer instinct, and I will hope he does stay for another year. But get comments in below. Do you think he will? Do you think there's a little bit of a naivety from us and Manchester United fans in general that we are, oh yeah, he'll stay another year? But remember last year we started hearing around this time that Zlatan might come to Manchester United. When a player starts saying I might go in the summer, is that an indication that they are going to go in the summer? I don't know. I hope not. However, a £50 million replacement that some people may quite fancy, Moussa Dembele, not the one at Spurs. He was originally at Fulham. He signed for Celtic last year and he's scoring goals left, right and centre. To be honest, most people probably would in that league, but he is a decent prospect. He's 6 foot. He's 20 years of age, French. Very good, very fast, very good off both feet, can score all sorts of goals. I still think it would be a slight risk bringing him to the Premier League, but having seen him a few times, not necessarily just at Celtic, at Fulham last year, which I'll come to in a minute, I think he is a good prospect. The interesting thing that I mentioned there is that we were sort of aware of him, not this January transfer window gone, the previous one, just before Christmas time, I think it was early December, Van Gaal, Manchester United were meant to be signing Dembele from Fulham and signing him in the January and loaning him back for the rest of the season. Van Gaal pulled out of the deal, just like he did Renato Sanchez, and he went to Celtic. So £50 million for him seems a lot of money, but if Zlatan does go, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility, like I said, we need to look for a replacement, and maybe this sort of person is. How good is he compared to a Marcus Rashford is the thing I always think when you're going to sign a 20-year-old, and can you say he's better than Rashford just because he's scoring a lot of goals in Scotland? I don't think you can, but to be honest, if Zlatan goes, we need another striker. So watch out for Dembele. Interesting, and certainly somebody that's been linked to Manchester United in the past, so why not? Why not? I can't remember who's reporting it. I think it's probably somebody like the Mirror, but that probably means it's rubbish. But just bear it in mind, and more importantly, from the first story with Zlatan, who would be the replacement? My ideal one would be Aubameyang, but he's always stated a preference for Real Madrid. He'd be perfect. He'd be absolutely perfect. He's big, he's quick, he's good off both feet, and he scores lots of goals. But whether Manchester United could do that, I don't know. But I'm not going to go back on my word that Manchester United can do anything. Talking about somebody who wants to come to Manchester United, I will read you the quote. He said, "I dream of playing in the Premier League, and most of all, I dream of playing for Manchester United. Chelsea are a very good side, but nothing beats Manchester United." Who said that? What genius? Franck Kessie. He sort of moved ahead in my mind for the moment. I do like Bakayoko at Monaco. I do want a defensive destroyer to get in there. I mean, we even saw it in the League Cup finals. Pogba, again, playing in that deeper role, it doesn't suit him. I like Pogba when he's free to attack. And certainly that sort of Kante midfielder who will just sit and do the dirty work and feed the attackers in front of him. That's exactly what Pogba needs. And everybody else, to be honest. So who's out there that we can go and get? Bakayoko I'm not sure about. He did look injured against City. We'll have to see in the second leg. But Kessie is a player that is doing really, really good things at Atalanta. 20 years old, 6 foot again. He is a midfield destroyer. He does pop up with goals as well. Very energetic and described by many as one of the best young players in European football at the moment. The only slight downer is that he plays for Ivory Coast, so you're going to lose him for the African Nations Cup like we used Bade. We want to have loads more African players coming into the club who are going to go missing in January for a month. Well, it's slightly longer, isn't it? And Ivory Coast tend to do quite well. I like him. I think he's a good player. Coming out openly talking about Manchester United is always a positive, isn't it, as fans like that? But keep an eye on that. I think Mourinho, well, I know Mourinho said in his Sky Sports interview that he's looking for 2 or 3 players to come in the summer. I think Griezmann is obvious, and then I think it will be a centre-back and a defensive midfielder, of which I think Kessie fits the bill perfectly. So keep an eye on him. Well worth a watch. Atalanta doing very good things in Serie A at the moment. Talking of centre-backs, well, no, let's go back to the obvious one, Griezmann. Nothing really to add about Griezmann. I still think that deal's going to be done, but a lot from his brother on Twitter yesterday when United won the cup final. People calling him a glory fan, to which he responded with pictures of when he was 14, saying, I've supported United since I was 14. Massive United fan, tweets about us positively all the time. Yes, he's the brother of Griezmann. That could be a helping hand towards getting to Old Trafford. But Pogba's best mates with Griezmann as well. So if there's a move, you just feel it's going to be United. And I think Griezmann, we are still far off winning the title and Champions League because we've got to get in the Champions League. And Griezmann just adds something to that. Loads I want to talk about, which is why we brought this show back. So do drop a like if you like us doing this on a weekly basis. There's a few I wanted to talk about that I'm going to hold back probably till later on in next week. But I do want to mention Stefan de Vrij. Dutch centre-back, which probably doesn't mean much now because Dutch football has really gone through to the basement. It's not as good as it used to be, but he's a player that I remember watching him in the World Cup when Van Gaal was in charge of Holland. I wish he'd stayed, and he's a decent centre-back, 6'2", been playing for Lazio since the last World Cup, won't sign a new contract, is interested in Premier League clubs. Chelsea want him, but there's a hint that he might want to come to Manchester United. 25 years of age. He's a centre-back. We need a centre-back. You know what I think? I want Manolas. You know I like Varane. We're linked with him again. But just bear it in mind. De Vrij, Stefan de Vrij, I think is how you pronounce it. Currently at Lazio, Dutch centre-back. You know, he's decent. He's known to Vidic, but he is quite tough and he's good in the air. He's certainly good at with the ball at his feet. But he's a no-nonsense centre-back, and we do potentially need that. Although I do like Chris Smalling. People say it's a bit like Mourinho's obsession with Fellaini, but I do like Smalling. But there we go. Get commenting below. Give us your thoughts on Zlatan. I have concerns about that. I do. Him saying he's not sure what he's doing in the summer. He says it's not dependent on Champions League football, by the way. Mourinho also saying it's not definite he'll stay. His agent saying anything can happen. If he goes, it's been a fantastic year and he goes with our best wishes, but I do want him to stay. So get commenting below what your thoughts are on that. Give us your thoughts on Dembele or anybody you think's a realistic replacement if Zlatan goes. Franck Kessie as the centre defensive midfielder. What are you thinking about that? It's a key position for us. Centre-backs, De Vrij. I still want Manolas. And also Griezmann. Give us your thoughts. Lots to talk about. Get commenting below about anything else you want to talk about transfers-wise, and we'll bring it into the show next week. Or if you've heard anything or you think about something that might be a useful player. Like I say, drop us a like, and also I've put the link in the video description. We normally do Skype Goldbridge on the United Stand, but we've put this show in tonight, so we won't be doing Skype Goldbridge on the United Stand. However, it will be on the Mark Goldbridge channel at 8:30. The link to that video for 8:30 is in the video description as well. Thanks everybody for watching. It is the United Stand. This is your Manchester United transfer news. Get involved. Give us your thoughts below. Thanks for watching.